सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी। एक ओंकार सत नाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच। वाहेगुरु 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 वाहेगुरु। सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जीओ। गुरु रूप गुरु प्यारे गुरु सवारी गुरु खालसा साध संगत जी। आओ सब माई भाई धन सतगुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज सच्चे पातशाह जी का ध्यान करके सतगुरु साहिब जी को फतेह बुलाइए। गुरु महाराज मेरा बख्शिशां कर असीसां देन जो महाराज कृपा करके उपदेश गुरु की संगत को पहुँचाउणगे साडे हिरदियां दे विच वस जावे। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। सो गुरु रूप गुरु प्यारी खालसा साध संगत जी धन सतगुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब जी महाराज the king of all kings, Maharaj Sahib ji the warrior of all warriors, a pita like no other. When we start to read about Guru Sahib ji's Jeevan and the Jeevan of the Singhs around Guru Sahib ji, Gurmukha, your head automatically bows. The lives that those Gursikhs they lived and led, the difficulties they went through, the times they went through, but at no point did anyone turn their face away from Guru Sahib ji. There's one Sakhi of Duni Chand who would stay in Guru Sahib ji's Sangat, tall, strong man, heavy built. But when the time came, Maharaj said, Sada Hathi, Mughlan de Hathi de naal jang karega, pointing towards Duni Chand. Gurmukh, he showed his true colours, he ran. Chalo khair, he stayed in Guru Sahib ji's Sangat, his grandsons got his pull forgiven, got his error forgiven from Satguru ji. But other than that, there's very few instances or Sakhi and Hukam where Guru ke Sikh have turned their face away from Guru Sahib ji. Despite all the hardships they faced, they stayed true in their commitment, in their devotion to Guru Sahib ji. And as long as this planet is, Gurmukh, their name shall forever shine just like the sun in the sky. Dhan Sri Kalgidhar Sahib ji Maharaj, creating the man they wanted to create, bringing up those Surbir Jodhe. Then came the time for Satguru Sahib ji Maharaj to turn away from the bodily swoop and transformed themselves into the Shabd Swaroop, even though the Shabd Swaroop was there then as well. Maharaj got everyone's attention and said, Guru ki Sangat, if somebody was to sit on a tree and run off with it, if they had that many magical powers that they could sit on a tree and cause it to run away, if someone was to sit on a wall and they had that many spiritual powers, they could cause that wall to fly away. We kade bhi bhul ke never ever ever turn your face away from Satguru Granth Sahib Ji. Maharaj said, I will be with you through Gurbani, through Shastra, through Panj Singh, through Sangat. And whilst giving this Upadesh to the Sangat that was there at the time, and to the Sangat now that the Upadesh is, Maharaj then spoke 52 bhajan, 52 Hukam, out of which we have come to the 7th Hukam, which is Punj Kakaar di Rehat, drirh rukhni, which is to watch over at all times over the discipline, observe the discipline of the 5 Kakaar, which is Kes, Kanga, Kada, Kachera, Kirpan. Maharaj says at no time my Gursikh shall waver on this commitment. Maharaj Dhan Satguru Gobind Singh Ji in their Rehatname write, they say that Kirpan, Kashera, Kada and Kanga, these are just Nishaniyan. That's all they are, Nishaniyan. Je Guru de Sikh ne case nahi rakhe. With case, they become Kakaar. The importance of case we heard last week, and the wrath of case we heard last week. Maharaj says that if anybody was to think they can live with these 5 Kakaar, Maharaj said, even I, the 10th master of the Gurus, the 10th master of the Gursikhs, Maharaj kende assi vi eh gall nu maaf nahi kar sakange, that even we will not forgive this. Even though they are in that position to forgive anything, Maharaj said, but even we will not forgive this. So to keep the wrath of these 5 Kakaar for a Guru ka Khalsa is of the utmost importance. Bibi ji, please gall na karo jab Guru Sahib Ji ki katha ho rahi hai. So Gurmukho, the 2nd Kakaar is Kanga. Jada Kanga hai, where there was the importance of case last week, the 2nd Kakaar being the Kanga is of great value in the importance of these cases. Now, jo Kanga Maharaj ne bakshya, what are the musts of it? It must be made of cart, of wood, not of bone, metal, or even plastic. You'll see these days that all sorts of Kange are available on the market, but no, a Guru ka Sikh should get a Kanga from other Khalsa, and it should be made of wood. A metal Kanga, what does a metal Kanga do? Gurmukha, first of all, it cuts your case. Secondly, a metal Kanga is not what has been told by Guru Sahib to wear. Thirdly, when we use a lakkar da Kanga, if you ever turn the light off, if you do Kesi Kanga in front of a mirror, if it's anything but a wooden Kanga, you'll see, you've all been to school here, so you'll know what static electricity is. What you'll see is sparks of static electricity as the Kanga causes friction with the case in a downward swing, or whichever way you comb your case. Even the electricity comes to damage the surface of our case, and we heard last week the utmost importance must be given to the keeping of our case. So not bone, metal or plastic, must be a lakkar da Kanga. If someone says we may nahi lakkar da bartana Kanga, all I want to use is a plastic one, or a lohe one, or even you get ivory ones made of bone, or even that. Look, no one's going to stop you. At the end, we have to all show our face to Guru. So when Guru puchuga, then what jawab will we give? Why we chose to ignore the one that he told us to keep, with lakkad da kanga at all times in the case. When lakkad da kanga is in our case, as you all heard last week, we do kesi kanga twice a day. In a lot of religions you will see they don't bother combing their case, they start getting matted, and from matted they start getting dreadlocks. That may be their way, but for Guru ka Sikh, kesa kanga twice a day with a cart, lakkad da kanga. Keep your case combed, keep them neat. Once the kanga goes in there, should our juda move around during the day or even come undone under the star, it stops the case from tangling. And so then when you're going to do kesi kanga, jehde bajje hoye case, jehde baj jande hai, they do not then cause you to either yank so hard that you break them, the kesan di beadbi hove, or pull away to your own scalp. So kanga at all times must be kept in case, not be kesi kanga kar liya to jebi ch pa liya, or then put on the side mantelpiece until the evening of the fair kesi kanga karna. The Punj Kakaar at no time whatsoever, from the point of Amrit Shakana until the last time you breathe, at no time can they be away from the body under any circumstance. And if they are, then Naal di Naal, Maharaj has told us what we must do should we be separated from these. So, lakkad da kanga, it must not be chipped or cracked or broken in any way. Now, those of you who do kesi kanga, you'll know if there's a chip on the kanga, when you're doing kesi kanga, in between the split in the wood, your case can get caught, and when you're doing kesi kanga, it can cause your case to break or get torn out. Again, kesan di beadbi ho rahi hai. If it's cracked or it's broken, then again you must seek a new kanga. Why? Look, in Sri Gurbani Ji, Maharaj uses the word pura again and again and again. Akal Purkh Vaheguru pura, Satguru pura, Guru ka Khalsa, Khalsa hai mera Satgur pura, Khalsa hai mera Sajjan Sura. Maharaj says the Khalsa is like my complete Satguru. Maharaj referring to those Brahmgyan Sadhu Mahatma who are pure in Bani and Bana, in Shastra and Shastra. So Maharaj has made the Khalsa pura, and if the Khalsa is pura, it should not be broken in any way whatsoever. So the kakar that we wear, they must be pure as well, our case must be pure, our kashera must be pura, our kada must be pura, our kirpan must be puri, and our kanga just as much must be pura. If it gets broken or chipped, then what we do is we get another one and we replace it. So that's true ratna we've heard. Now the kanga must remain in our case at all times. Now when we go to sleep, it's one of the Guru Sikhs here last week, soon as last got off the stage, he said to me, he goes, Singh, when I'm asleep, my kanga comes out of my case. And he goes, so does my dastar. As much of you Guru Sikhs will know, when you're asleep, kade dastar kesa to alag ho jandi hai. And when he said my dastar comes away from my case, what happens is my kanga gets separated from me as well. It's still in the sarana. He goes bits away from me, sometimes it's off the sarana. And so, Gurmukh, there's two ways to tackle this. One is keep an extra kanga on you at all times, whether it's in your pocket or whether I've seen some people put it around their neck. You can keep it in your pocket. Another way, what I do is I get a dori of thread, keep it quite moti so it's not too thin to cause any tension on the case. Dori vatke, you wrap it around the dande and then you tighten it at the highest point, rather than drilling a hole in it. Once you drill a hole in it again, the kanga is not pura, so must be wrapped around there, tie a knot. Once I finish doing kesi kanga sees the kesan saja, then I wrap it around my juda and tie it twice. So when I'm asleep, it doesn't become separated from me. Now, some people will think, oh, well, that's a little OTT. Why are we worried about getting separated from our kakars? Gurmukh, our kakars are just important as the air we breathe, especially for Guru ka Khalsa. Just as we don't want to be separated from the air we breathe, we do not want to be separated from our kakar, and the keeping of this rehat is a direct instruction from Sri Kalgitar Ji. So there's no bigger reason than that itself, to keep all your kakars on your body at all times. Now if it does get separated and we haven't got another one in our pocket, or we haven't tied it around our case, or for any other reason our kanga becomes separated from us, we do one Sri Japji Sahib Ji da part. Having done one Sri Japji Sahib Ji da part, फिर महाराज चरना च अरदास करनी भी महाराज according to your rehat, जो तनख्वाह लगती होंदी है for being separated from this kakar, we have done that one Japji Sahib Ji da part, महाराज भूल बख्श देनी. Then you go on to eat something. Now normally that would refer to the morning time. If during any time of the day, Faraj Kita, you're working, the star gets knocked, and you have to tie the star again, and your kanga isn't tied onto your juda, and your kanga gets separated from you. So again, at that time, Japji Sahib da paठ करके अरदास करके फिर उस तो बाद जल पानी खाना छकना. Kanga, we even though heard this last week, again I said it again this week, Kanga twice a day, at no time, koi til nahi karni. Most of us, when we finish work and we go home, that's a very good time to do it, because you're still on the go, you haven't sat down, you haven't started winding down, you're still on the go. घरे जाके मुंह हाथ धो के दस्तार को दोबारा सजाना. जिथे where we're doing Kanga twice a day, we must retie our dastar twice a day, not take it off our heads. Dastar chun ke banni and lawn village chun ke launi. So page by page by page, take this dastar off, and page wrap by wrap by wrap, install the dastar on your head. Some people go home, take the dastar off, put it to one side, that becomes a topi. That's not a dastar. Dastar is something ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਪਾ ਸਜਾਈਦਾ ਆ, ਟੋਪੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ. So kesi kanga karna once in the morning after Ishnam, or even during Ishnam, as some people do. Then once again in the evening, preferably that's Sri Rera Sahib Ji. If your Rera Sahib Ji, the time is until late in the evening, do it then. If you've done Rera Sahib Ji whilst at work, then even I do this a lot of times, because sometimes my day is so long. Saun to pehlo Sri Swela Sahib Ji da paठ karan to pehlo, before we read the Bani of Sri Swela Sahib, before going to sleep, kesi kanga karke, then you sit on your srana, well towards your srana, facing your srana, and then you read Sri Swela Sahib Ji di Bani. Now, when doing kesi kanga, we all notice that the case in our head that are broken away, that become detached from the scalp, they come out in the kanga. Gurmukh is a time to reflect that just as those cases that became detached from the scalp have now been removed, that we're no longer attached to the scalp, we must also calm ourselves spiritually and see what vichar we've got that cause us to become detached from Guru Sahib Ji. It's a time to dwell, time to ponder, time to reflect that what have I done in this day, today, or what have I been doing in the days leading up, or what might I be doing in the next few days that will be that sort of an action that will cause me to become detached from Gurmat and come to live in Manmat. And if we have got those vichara inside us, just like with the Kanga we remove broken hair, with our vichar rupi Kanga, we must remove those things that are separating us from Guru Sahib Ji rather than keeping us with Guru Sahib Ji. Those cases that are strong and rooted in the scalp, they have not become removed. Those vichara that are strong and keep us rooted in Satguru Ji, in Gurmat, will never come us to become detached from Guru Sahib Ji. So that's what a lot of Singhs do. As time goes on, you know, these things change. The olden Singhs, they would read Bani Bodhu in Kesi Kanga, because that's the amount of respect they had, not only for the case, but the action of Kesi Kanga. There's a lot of Sikhs now that jo Dumala se jode apne Gursikh Bhai, even a gold star doesn't know what the star, they will read Dumale de Slok, Dumale de Shabad. So, do warke Sikhanga, a good time to reflect on what we've done. Last week we heard in brief the Sakhi of Sri Kavitarji, and today we're going slightly in a bit more depth. So, what happened was Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Now the reason why we're going to hear it a bit more in depth, because there's a lot of people out there I've seen after, especially after Hola Mahalla, they were questioning the enhancing Maryada of Chatka. I am neither for, nor am I against. This is something the Panth, the elders to whom I am not anywhere equal, the Panth as a whole need to decide what should be done or what shouldn't be done. But from there moves on to some people saying, oh, we don't believe Maharaj went and done hunting. Gurmukh Satguru Ji is the creator of the entire universe. What they do, my feeble mind can never come to comprehend or understand. Neither can anybody else. Is karte ki mit karta jane, kya jane gur sura. The karni of Akal Purkh Vaheguru is only known to Vaheguru or Satguru. Nobody else can know their karni. Did Guru Sahib Ji hunt? Absolutely they hunted. There's a big difference between Guru Sahib Ji's hunt and someone like me hunting. Someone like me hunting has no right to hunt. I can't even create a sand particle, yeah, I want to go and kill such a complex being. If I hunt, I will have to give lekha for that. I've got no right from Guru Sahib Ji. Guru Sahib Ji, on the other hand, their hunting is not hunting. When Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj in battle used to do battle, they would tie a certain amount of gold to each drirh. Why did they tie that gold? So whoever they killed in battle, their family could arrange with that gold their funeral. Funerals aren't cheap, they're not cheap now. They weren't cheap then either. So they could arrange for not only the funeral, but it also would be a sort of, I don't want to call it compensation. The person who's died, obviously they earn money and go back to the family, so it would be money from Satguru to them. Now Maharaj has done para, has done good for their body, but the person that died automatically got to that padavi that we are seeking. We're all seeking mukti, yeah? To be killed by Guru Sahib Ji's drirh is an automatic mukti. When a weapons maker bought a tupak, a gun for Guru Sahib Ji, Maharaj said, is this gun even going to hit its target? All Guru Sahib Ji had to say was that, and said, chalo sanu target chahiye, we need a target to practice on. A father and son who were working close by said, Maharaj, choose me. The son said, choose me. The father said, choose me. The son and father, yet they both respected each other so much, they started fighting over who Guru Sahib Ji should choose in order to practice their tupakan. Why? Was it suicide? Absolutely no. That goli coming out of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji's bandook was an absolute straight free ticket to mukti. When Guru Sahib Ji hunted, those beings that were in those bodies, Gurmukh, yeah? Those beings that were in those bodies, they weren't necessarily bad beings, and that's why they ended up in Jannah. They were beings, through a mistake or other, they had ended up in Jannah. And Guru Maharaj Ji was going to make them mukt regardless. Like the Sakhi about the Seha, the Khargosh that Maharaj hunted. He was a Sikh from Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, who had become Bemukh from Guru Sahib Ji. He had forgotten Guru, but Guru had not forgotten him. So those jeeves that Guru Sahib Ji went and hunted, they were getting a prize that we are seeking, which is mukti. So Guru Maharaj Ji one day wanted to go out and do a hunt. And while Maharaj has gone out for a hunt, the Singhs, after spending hours looking for a shikar, looking for prey, they said, Maharaj, we've been looking, but we can't find anything anywhere. And Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, the cause of everything. Maharaj said, no, carry on looking. They carried on looking. Maharaj, we don't understand that when we come out into the jungle, we normally find a shikar just like this. But for some reason today we can't find a shikar. Maharaj says, Sikho, Khalsa no vigan nahi penda. The Khalsa never gets any kind of say bad luck, if I can call it that. Maharaj says there's never any fikr, never any kind of obstacle for the Khalsa. Why is this so? And when Maharaj had all their attention, then Maharaj said, which one of you two, which one of you lot, never done your KC Kanga for the second time? And the Sikh that had an step forward, he goes, Maharaj, I hadn't done my KC Kanga for the second time today. Maharaj said, now when we see the action of doing our KC Kanga twice a day, we think, what's in this? I'm not getting anything. When we eat food, our connection with the food eating is only until we swallowed it. After that, what takes place is the automatic programming on the inside. When we do Kisi Kanga, we do not see, but what we're gaining is Guru's khushi. How? Manne ki gat kahi na jaye. Jo Guru da bachan ya, whatever Guru Sahib Ji has taught us, all that mannan de vich is where Guru's khushi is. Maharaj says, Rehat pyari mujhko, Sikh pyara na hai. Maharaj says, Jadi Rehat, the instruction that I have given to the Guru Sikh, the one who lives by that is pyara to me, because they are living in my Rehat. Just by calling yourself my Sikh or even becoming my Sikh, Punj Kakaar ban milai, even if Amrit Shakti we take on the 5 Kakaar, but don't live by the Rehat that Guru Sahib just told us, we do not get Guru's khushi. So that's why I keep on emphasizing again and again about the importance of keeping Guru Sahib Ji's Rehat, the importance of keeping Guru Sahib Ji's Hukam. Gurmukh, that brings us almost to the conclusion for today's Diwan. Today is Mother's Day, and it's a time for us to reflect a little. We hear about countless sakiyan of Mahan Guru Sikhs, Dasai Padshahiyyan, but very rarely do we ever hear or even learn of our mother, Mata Sahib Kaur Ji. Mata Sahib Kaur Ji's story, Dasas have the great fortune of reading it, and it's a heart-wrenching story. How Mataji, not only did Mataji live in the highest standards possible, but what Mataji went through. And a child that forgets their mother, I just wonder what kind of child that is, especially me. So it's Mother's Day today. There's a film being made, it's called Motherhood, The Journey. It's about Mata Sahib Kaur Ji's Jeevan. If you got access to social media, please search it. Once you search it, you'll see on there that the money is not being made by the film, I beg your pardon, is not being made by investors, as films usually are, then they get a return on it. It's all being made by Guru Ki Sangat. If she's our mother, rightly so, we should pay for the film. Why should anybody else? So if you go onto that website and you have a look, it's on Facebook, it's also on Twitter, also they've got their own website. You'll find a link where you can donate towards it. So on Mother's Day, whereas we buy a mother a card, I don't know, maybe a cake, maybe a necklace, those of us who are well off enough maybe buy a mother a 2-week holiday or even a car. However you feel that you're capable of, please do donate towards that film. Those films are such things. I sometimes speak to youngsters and I ask them, oh, where did your Jeevan start? Because your parents don't speak Punjabi. You are in Sikhism, but your parents don't. And then I'm speaking with the whole family and they tell us, we went to watch that film, Charles Sahibzade. And from there, one thing led on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. So in this day and age, we are very connected. We are very connected to social media and television and everything else. So you never know whose life is going to get changed, transformed by which way. Some through Katha, some through Kirtan, some through Santya, some through reading Gurbani. A lot of people become influenced through audio visual. So yeah, please, on today, Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to you all. Tan Mata Sahib ko If you can visit that website and you can find the link to it, by all means donate. Whatever money you Guru Ki Sangat give, we normally give that to Mataji in the back hall, who then buys medication for the people that need it, obviously, in Punjab. But from now on, where we do that, we're going to start also sending this money towards that film. I'm very passionate about that film, so that's why I did Benti in your channel. Gurmukhs, that brings us to the end of today's Diwan. Thanks a million, Tanwad, a million times to Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, whose Kirpa Mehr we all sitting here. Thanks to you, Guru Pyari Saad Sangat Ji.